to the Honeycomb Hideout.
Ding, 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 ding. You need a bell. Ding, 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 ding.
We can do it ourselves. Woo! Ding, 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 ding.
You can't go to the cymbals when I go to the cymbals.
We've missed you if you haven't realized it already. Hello. Welcome. Hi. We've missed you, Zachy B.
I know, I've been on vacation.
Well, welcome back from vacation.
He's fixing the mixer.
Yeah.
How is that actually going? Please tell the people.
It was quite an ordeal.
Tell us.
I had to go home and plug it back in, and it was suddenly fine.
Wait, what was the issue, though?
I wish that's what would happen with me and all of my music engineering. I could just unplug it and then plug it back in and everything works.
But like someplace else though.
Right.
Like it
I
doesn't.
think it just needed time to cool down.
Oh, maybe
it might have been left plugged in for too long.
That's me. You know what I mean? I'm plugged in a lot of the times, and then in order to cool down, I have to unplug.
Right. Well, welcome to the Honeycomb Hideout. This is a weekly podcast every hump day at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Wednesday, let us.
This is a musical podcast. We also talk about technology news, AI, the metaverse, industry stuff, everything. You
Porn.
name it. Right. You name it, we talk about it. I'm sorry.
We're talking about porn all this entire episode. So if you don't like pornography, then I'd turn it off now. That's a big thing now.
That is.
What? This is a huge thing now.
It's a huge
You don't
thing.
No, wow.
I've never heard of this term.
And you're
and
you're in the metal community.
I've never heard this term
you're
before.
on social media. And you
I've
don't know
never heard this
You
term.
don't know the hawk too.
Oh, I know that as the rabbit.
No.
As the what?
As the rabbit.
No. No, we're talking about the hawk too.
Oh, I know it as the rabbit. I'm sorry. Oh.
How about at home?
I'm so old
does everybody?
A rabbit before.
Well, hold on a second. I think we need to recalibrate. Does everybody at home know what the hawk 2 is? Because I do.
I know it has a different term.
Apparently so.
We all have a different. We have a different idea what this is.
Yeah.
Melissa can hardly entertain herself. Do you, young lady, do you know what the hawk 2 is? Yes. Okay. You would. You're so informed. Melissa's always like casually like informed. Like she already knows. You know? So when people came and introduced like dirty words to you and like crazy sex positions and horror stories, you probably knew them all. And of course, the quiet people always know.
Mm-hmm. They sure do.
We expect quiet people to not know stuff, but it's actually the opposite.
Those are usually the freaks.
Right, because that's right. That's because they're observing everything.
And they have vast imaginations because they're quiet.
Well, also, I think, too, usually, like, you know, the pretty, beautiful people, men and women alike, they don't try as hard when they're, you know, really good looking because they're like, I can get anybody I want. Whereas usually the quiet ones are, like, more freaky because it's like...
They have more time to study.
Exactly.
It's true. You have less time trying to uphold the act.
And also quiet people, they have the sense about themselves to wait before they say something. Because they're quiet and they're observing everything around them, they're easily able to come up with a just answer for something.
They can absorb and process.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They have the ability to like be calm. So it's very stoic actually to be quiet.
Yeah, I don't have none of
they're
these
not
abilities.
worried about fighting to be to the top voice. They have time to just sit and observe and
they can
take everything in.
Share the spotlight.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I like this.
In fact, usually they're happy to be out of the spotlight so they can kind of observe what's going on.
So then there's a time and place for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's very
We've
stoic.
just broken down everything about you. Now you must feel strange.
You're a very stoic person.
Those are weird sound bits. Every time we sit down, I want to have an infinite amount of sound bits for Melissa. We'll have to make more. We really will.
It's like shock person.
Can you write down? Hold on. Can you write down a list of emotions and different things that you want me and Zachy B to do? Because we could do bass slides and womp womp womps and
more guitar stuff and shit.
more guitar stuff. Write it down, okay?
I have a notebook. Hold on.
Here we go.
So
To appropriate page.
Now, people in bands watching this, make note. She had a notebook on standby.
Here
If
you
you're
are.
a musician, band, or really any profession, you should always have a notebook nearby. Like, but
you should have an assistant. How many band members? Look at Scarecrow Hill. They got a good crew.
They sure do. Yeah, they have like an entire road crew.
Yeah, we need to get back to that. I could tell. And that's why all their instruments were tuned. They got people tuning everything.
Why don't people talk about the importance?
Why don't people
of
tune our guitars?
Why don't people talk about the importance of having a crew as a musician or a band? Why
Well,
do those people
having-
never get talked about?
I
Having
can't
a
live
crew
without
is a-
y'all.
Having a crew is a luxury item.
Because the
Is
reason
it? It is.
the reason why
No,
I
it
say
is.
this as well is because, as we all know, Taylor Swift has an Eras tour, and most musicians that do tours like that at her level, they're known to not really give their crew people bonuses or not a substantial amount of pay. But
What?
because she's gotten so much success over the Eras tour, she's like, I'm going to do double and triple the normal for the crew.
Yo,
Nice.
And she, to me, is probably the only one that's probably publicly have, like...
is it just me?
So why don't
is, like,
musicians...
I think that I'm a fan of Taylor Swift because she's annoying. You know, and not to me. She doesn't annoy me. She annoys people by doing stuff like that. Like that annoys people. Taylor Swift is the type of person to give back double or triple to her own road crew and stagehands and annoy everyone. I like it.
Why don't other musicians think about their crew like that?
Well, the most infamous story in rock and roll is the Van Halen Eminem rider, which, oddly enough, so everyone misconstrues this story as like them being the original divas of like, oh, we're not gonna play if there's, a bowl. We want a bowl of M&Ms and there can't be any brown M&Ms in the bowl. So everyone thinks it's like, oh, that's just them being dicks. The real reason for that being in their rider is because their stage crew got really injured because one of the venue owners didn't read through their technical rider and didn't see like the stage requirements and didn't have enough power, didn't have enough the stage literally couldn't hold their equipment. So they're like, well, this is going to be how we test to see if they've ridden through the rider. And that is, if that bowl of M&Ms isn't there, we still get paid. We have the full right to trash our dressing room and also go through every single spec of our technical rider because we don't want our crew getting hurt.
That is that's a lot of work. That is a lot of work.
If they missed the bowl of M&Ms, they could have
Who
missed
was
some
this?
Van Halen.
Wow.
And yeah, if they missed the bowl of M&Ms, what else did they skip? Probably some serious safety measures.
That's probably listed in that document.
Mm-hmm. That's why it was in their technical aspect.
Yeah, to
of
see
the
if
rider.
people are reading through it or not, and missing the point.
Trying to check people for
Yeah.
reading the contract before.
Right, because if you miss the bowl of M&Ms, what happens?
What else did you miss?
Like, is my road crew gonna get, try to plug something in and get zapped, or
I know. I was thinking how many things they had to check on our plane before we went to Rockfest. Isn't that sick? I think of stuff like that.
You want to know what's funny about
I do. Like, you know what I mean? I do. Like, is that plane that we're getting on to Rockfest, are they going to go through every bowl?
I certainly hope so. I mean, Boeing's kind of under the
I mean,
microscope lately.
I mean, where we're going with the aircrafts and how many like technical problems or like crashes, they're probably more so apt to double, triple, and quadruple check every bolt. Because if they don't, their job's on the line.
Oh, it's
and
always,
so are lives.
It's always the funny thing.
That is true.
It's always the funny thing that happens.
That is
Of course they're supposed to check every bolt, but
have
it's always the funny thing.
Oh,
But just in case.
So, but will it be the funny thing because I say it's the funny thing, and indeed the funny thing will be them tightening all their screws?
Well, I know instead of a traditional carry-on bag, I'm just gonna pack a parachute and take that on with me, just in case.
That's smart.
Wow.
That's smart.
Is that going to count as one of your Zachy B carry-ons?
Can that fit in a carry-on?
I don't know.
Take my order because you know it's like a carry-out. When you buy it to your lights out.
Boys, this really is a musical podcast.
That was flat.
Bust out in song.
I wish we could, but DCMA.
Yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The fucking SWAT team's going to be here. DCYF.
You said so many letters.
Helping Human Services, FBI, police.
That's all the letters of the alphabet.
Fuck them.
Except for
DOC,
Z.
FBI, ABC, THC.
Right.
Hey.
Melissa's got a bag of mushrooms.
Whoa.
Portobello.
Okay.
Portobello. She likes salad.
I love salad.
She doesn't, actually.
You know, salad's good. Okay.
You're the salad girl here. Caesar.
Yeah, I like me some Caesar salads for sure.
Those are my favorite as well.
It's a really good salad.
Put your favorite salad in the comments.
Did you guys know that Spotify removed Aussie artists for music alleged of fraudulent activity?
That's because the Australians.
Oh.
Aussie, Australian.
Aussie.
Aussie?
Well, you can say it that way. Yeah. It's said that's the way it's really.
Well, first
What's the ways it really said?
Aussie would be like two Z's. You could say
like Aussie.
I've seen people.
Yeah,
I see.
As soon as
You're saying it. You're saying it different.
Oh, I've always. Oh. So the proper way is Aussie?
I think. I don't know.
I hope we're not saying the N-word or something like that.
I hope
in
not
somebody
either.
else's
If anyone's from
Listen,
Australia, I apologize.
Yeah. For all I
He's
know, all of our Australian friends are now mad at us.
I'm sorry to people from Australia.
Americans don't know. You know, like we'll read something in an article and like those fucking Aussies. Like, but we don't really know what that means.
Maybe we should say
Australians.
Australian artists.
Yeah.
These Spotify Australian artists were removed from the platform due to alleged fraudulent.
They got to get the crocodile hunter on that. I mean, not him. Mick Dundee. What's his name?
They're both dead.
Nuh-uh. For real?
Crocodile Hunter?
Well, I know he is. The other guy. Why are you laughing? It's not funny. No, what's the other guy's name? You're laughing at me because I didn't know it. But what is it?
No, I'm
not the crocodile hunter.
I'm laughing at the nickname Crocodile Hunter.
No, the other guy. You guys are going crazy. No, Mick Dundee. God damn it, the guy from Down Under. No. We are so fucked. This show is fucked up. Mick Dundee. Somebody, we're going to be telling you.
Should we look up who this person is?
Look up Mick Dundee.
Okay.
That's not a knife.
Is it Crocodile Dundee?
Crocodile Dundee.
Yep.
Okay, who is that?
Thanks, Diamond.
Thank God.
So who is that?
What the fuck? It doesn't even matter anymore. I'm just glad we got down to it.
One said William versus the kangaroo.
Oh my God.
Look, I would never. Listen,
no one should.
No
one should.
Do not fuck with a kangaroo.
No.
I can honestly say there's not one animal in Australia I would fuck with.
No.
98% of the world's deadliest creatures are
Right. Why do you think we
currently
had
residing.
Crocodile and Mick Dundee and guys like that? To protect guys like me. I'm not fucking around. I play Xbox, with guys from Australia. It sounds dangerous just being them. I don't like the wilderness. I'm not into it. I'm too domesticated.
right.
Seriously.
Paul Hogan?
I can't even say I'm a city boy. I'm a
That's his
suburban
real
boy.
name. That's his real name. That's his real name, Paul Hogan.
That was Ed.
Thank you. No, that's his real name. That's his real name. Damn, he died. I didn't know that.
No,
That's
Steve Irwin
heartbreaking.
died.
Is Paul Hogan dead? I'm about to cry.
Please don't be sad.
I love Mick Dundee. He's got the knife.
Please don't be sad.
Come on, man. You don't know about Mick Dundee.
Don't be sad. Get glad.
That was one of my favorite things to watch as a child.
Commercials?
Oh, shit. So what about the Australians?
Okay. Numerous Australian artists have... Numerous. Not just two anymore. Numerous independent Australian artists have reportedly had their music removed from Spotify, with the vague reasoning of alleged fraudulent streaming activity as the service grapples with how to deal with fake streams.
And that is because there are several companies out there right now, as I've been warning all of you for months after months after months, that Spotify and publishers and independent distributors are all in on this fucking game. Why is being on Spotify such a cool thing for artists to begin with? Because supposedly it's an opportunity for your music to be seen in front of more people than it would if you weren't on Spotify. That's the idea. But how does that happen? Like, what are the events that take place for that to happen? Sure, artists upload their music to distributors. You don't upload your music to Spotify. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Musicians, bands, rappers, podcasts, we don't make a song and then upload it to iTunes.
Right, this isn't YouTube.
Right, it's
You
not.
gotta go through a third party.
Right, and that third party is a distributor, okay? But those distributors, when they distribute music, okay, when we make a song, like let's say we make a song tonight, and we distribute it, we give it to our record label, which is an independent distributor. In our case, it's DistroKid. You guys can look it up, okay? So we have an industry record label. Sepsiss is tricky. And then we have an independent distributor that acts as a record label also. So I know sometimes that's why I can get tricky talking about the Sepsiss stuff. But if you listen to our last single, it was uploaded to the internet by our distributor, not by us. When we present music to our distributor, we check the boxes and we say what retailers and what storefronts we want our music to be on. Are you guys following me? At that time, we can check iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, but most musicians, for all obvious reasons, we upload to every single place that our distributors will allow us to. Mm-hmm. So when people go, Sepsiss, if you don't like Spotify, then why are you on it? Sepsiss didn't put our music on Spotify. Our distributor and our record label did. We just told them it doesn't matter if you check the box or not. We just ignored it. You know, in the case of our record label, they would never agree to not have our music on Spotify. Mm-hmm. But us as independents, I will show you, our next music will not be available on Spotify. That's because us as a band, we are going to make it impossible for our distributor to check that box. So when we upload our music, they won't have the permission from us to distribute it on Spotify. So that's why our next music won't be available, is because we are annoyingly not going to check that box. Otherwise, it'll be distributed to everyone. Now, if you are on an independent distributor, okay, like DistroKid, like CD Baby, or TuneCore, there are Spotify discovery mode. Okay. there are modes. There are marquee modes, discovery modes, and there are programs and features and tools. And, they're called promotional tools for independent artists. Basically, they're payola tools. Small artists like us can pay Spotify. No longer do we need once our music's been distributed by our distributors, we can pay Spotify directly to boost our music, which is, nearly criminal. By definition, it's payola.
Yeah.
You guys can look up payola on your own time. Lexi's done a bunch of lectures on it in the past. She's done deep dives on payola. Payola is an illegal crime. Basically, you're not allowed to pay radio. You're not allowed to pay public forums to play your music. It's illegal. But despite it being illegal, Spotify and other DSPs have a lot of different programs and features that go along with these programs, where artists that don't get a lot of plays can put their music up on a marquee or have their image next to larger celebrities in their genre. Also, there's Spotify Discovery Mode. But for the last 10 years, what is the defining difference between Spotify and all of the other DSPs that makes them famous to independents? What is the one feature that makes Spotify much more famous? What is their one thing that they have always offered that the independent artists claim is the most valuable place to get your music? Does anybody know? Can anybody say it in the comments? I'll give you a few seconds. I'll give you a hint. It's illegal. Pause. I'll give you a hint. It is against Spotify's community guidelines to pay money to be a part of one of these. It is illegal for an artist to go to a promotion company or to go to a group and give them money to be a part of one of these.
Diamond says playlists.
That is the number one difference. That is the number one feature that defines Spotify and makes their service different from the others, is that their defining feature, what gets you plays, what makes you popular, the thing that everyone's trying to be a part of for the last 10 years, the number one feature on the device, on the app that promotes independent artists is playlists. And the rumor has it, legend has it, as it has been, that being a part of as many playlists as possible is how artists are reaching wider audiences. So when the question comes up, why do people love Spotify? Because they have access to playlists. Now, even though it goes against Spotify's community standards to pay to be a part of this, it's still the defining feature of why independent artists have ever been successful on the app. And this is exactly how Spotify siphons from its own technology. Are you ready? Are you ready? So when there is streaming fraud, most people that are on Spotify right now don't realize it, but you have been playlisted at one point or another. A promotion company, a playlisting company has taken your song and tried to get your attention for a promo. They'll take a Sepsiss song and they'll add it to a playlist. And then all of a sudden, your song will start playing in London. And you'll go, oh my God, holy shit, I'm blowing up in London. And then 2 weeks later, all of a sudden, the songs will stop playing in London. So curious artists get back on the internet and go, hey man, I want to go find that playlist. I'll go London playlist. It's made by Demetrius London 404. There's his email. I'll email Demetrius, hey man, what gives? I love being on the playlist. How can I be a part of that? hey, $400 and I could get you back on 3 more playlists. And this is how people who are not previously engaging in fraudulent streams are getting called out by being on fraudulent streams. Look, if we had an issue, let's say Sepsiss had an issue with a band right now. Let's say you pick a band in your head, and let's say we had an issue with them. You know what I mean? If I had $5,000, there's nothing stopping me from going to my competitors or my enemies. There's nothing from stopping me from taking $5,000 or $10,000 and blowing up another artist's account. There's nothing stopping me that if I wanted to truly get rid of my competitors, anyone can go out and buy $5,000 worth of playlists and get fake streams for Sepsiss and have us banned from Spotify. And the thing is when Spotify bans people, here's the kick. Here's the big kick. And all you independent artists out there that this is happening to know about this. When this happens, okay, a lot of times people don't realize the fake playlists that you are being added to, you don't know that you're being added. There's no way for an artist to prevent being added to a fake playlist. There is nothing preventing. There are no security features. This is a feature that Spotify has allowed people to breach in order to boost and growth hack its own services. Do you get it? Our distributors, our record labels, and even the publishers and the independent distributors like TuneCore and DistroKid, they allow inside the technology, if you're a part of DistroKid or TuneCore, they have promotional tools inside the app, inside on the website. So like if you go to DistroKid, you can look up extras, or you can look up add-ons, or different things that you can buy, different services to help you out as an artist. Some of them are really good. I encourage everyone here to check it out on their own, because some of them are really good. But there are other features like the lottery wheels. Like a lot of these distributors still have games on the websites. I call it gambling, because people are making money. We're artists trying to make a living. If I'm spinning a wheel to be added to a playlist to make money, I'm gambling with my career. If they can call me out and say that I'm fraudulent for being added to playlists that I don't know I'm being added to, who's to say I'm not being added by my own distributors? So people that speak out against DistroKid, people that speak out against Spotify, people that draw a challenge to this at any given time, they can claim that you've had fraudulent streams, and really there's nothing that we can do about it. Let's take a look here.
My question in regards to like fraudulent streams and how
Look at our shit is up right now.
And how artists can't really like control really if their streams are being fraudulent.
I'm listening.
How can an artist at that point then prove that their streams are authentic if they have to go through a third party and Spotify knows that? So why is the artist being punished and not their distributor? And how can an artist prove that their streams are real if they have to go through a distributor? So either way, isn't this kind of just a rabbit hole?
This whole thing is a game, and this whole thing is a lottery. In fact, it doesn't matter how many monthly listeners that you have on Spotify. There's no way to check if they're real.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how can
an
artist ever prove that this is real or fake?
You can't. Like on Facebook right now or Twitch, if somebody follows us, we can send them a message. At very basic MySpace stuff, very basic Instagram stuff. If somebody follows us on Facebook, we can go, holy crap, that kind of looks like a bot, right? And we have and if let's say hypotheticals, okay? Let's say that we're starting to get bot-like accounts, right? On Facebook, we have the option to block it.
Right, but
Let's say you're added to, we're added to a shifty playlist or something that looks weird. We have no way of opting out.
right, and Spotify knows that.
Yeah, they do.
Spotify created the platform.
Yeah, they do.
So my real question is, why is the artist being punished like this if Spotify designed it so that artists can't upload their own music, artists can't check their streams, artists can't prove themselves to be authentic, they have to go through a third party, and that third party is the one that's really being shisty. How can...
Okay, so right now, this is showing me, I'm going to show everybody at home too. Right now it's showing me Sepsiss is added to 96 playlists. Okay, so right now, Sepsiss is on 96 playlists on Spotify. See that? Now, I don't know who the fuck they are. Who's to say? And I mean, and they're showing me 14 of 96. I don't know. There's no way for me to verify or contact or confirm.
That's what I'm saying. So why is the artist being punished? You have no control over that.
So that's why, I mean, I don't,
Right.
that's why Sepsiss never shows off our Spotify metrics, because I can't, there's no way of knowing, we don't know what we're showing.
Exactly. Why is that goes with my question. Why is the artist being punished?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
When
Because
Spotify
fuck the artist.
when Spotify designed the platform.
I'm going to tell you why. Because independent artists are a $17 billion annual industry that they want hidden. That's why.
But it's great exposure.
But that still doesn't make any sense. They designed the platform so that artists can't upload their own music. Artists can't talk to their listeners. Artists can't
let me explain
verify or prove that they're authentic because they have to go to a third party.
If you have a follower, forget monthly listeners, okay? Let's say let's say this is solo artist Zachy B, and he's got 200 followers.
Damn, I'm doing well.
On Spotify, he's not allowed to contact the followers.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And say thank you.
Right.
Because he doesn't know, he can't contact them and say, hey, meet me at the show.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not.
So
I
you
don't know.
can't verify.
No.
So why is the artist being punished if Spotify built the platform so that artists can't do that? Artists
Lexi,
can't verify.
Can I give you my best? Can I give you what I have for you and it's not great? Sepsiss is leaving Spotify and we're not releasing our music on Spotify anymore. And that's all that's not a great answer, and I wish I had something better for you.
Like this whole thing just sounds just so.
I don't have anything better
like
for you
as
on
someone that like I'm part of Sepsiss, so I see what you guys go through, and then we're talking about the whole fake streaming thing, and as we keep talking about it, I keep trying to connect this whole. This is how the platform's designed, but yet the artist is being punished when the artist has no control.
If you think
over
you're
anything.
having a tough time with it, fans of Spotify are having an even tougher time with it. I hope
the artists are also having a tough time with it too.
Well, that's the scary part, is that people worship the device and Daniel Ek more than they do the artist that they're supposed to be presenting. People have forgotten about the music and they're just all pro app. They don't care about the musicians, they just want the app. Mm-hmm. So people who are fans of the app are bigger defenders of the app than they are original music. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is insane.
It is insane. That's why I have all these questions. Because it's insane to me, too. I'm seeing you guys go through it. And I'm just like, I have these questions for this company.
You hear artists, you hear some artists, Deadmau5 just said it, too, the other day. He's removing his, and a lot more artists are doing it. It's not a game. It's not a joke. It's not.
This is real life.
It's not. We're not acting or role playing. No, we're not releasing any more music on Spotify. Actually, we're not doing it. And if things change and if things get better down the road, we'll have a new chapter to the story. But as it stands right now, our next song is the single with you and Melissa. We're releasing our next song after Rockfest, and if you are a fan of Spotify and you're a fan of Sepsiss, that really stinks because we're not going to release our next single and we have no plans to release any more music on Spotify.
Thank you.
Because we're fucking tired of it.
Thank you.
Right.
Somebody's got to be someone. I know we're not a big band, and you know we don't have a big, you know, a really large output, but sometimes you just got to do things because you feel that it's the right thing to do, and we want to be on the right side of the story.
True that.
I like that. Appreciate that.
Poor guys.
We're gonna move on to
Poor Australians. I got their back.
Right.
It's not your fault.
Australia, we have your back.
And it's not your fault. I cannot make this any more clear.
No, and if you look, they're doing that to large artists. It's not just tiny.
Oh no, yeah.
Huh.
They're doing it.
No, they're hitting you. You know what I mean? If at any time they can call, you know, streaming illegitimate streams, they can accuse you of your band or an artist of having illegitimate streams, and they won't even answer your phone call, you know. So that's it. That's just it. If they accuse you of having illegitimate streams, they just remove your music, and that is that.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Because that's
how they designed it.
Because that's the way Daniel Ek.
It's almost like he set it up for you to fail.
Well, he set it up for him to put the value on music. That's what he did.
Right. Let's move on to a brighter topic.
Okay.
The Pornhub.
I thought you were kidding about that. I thought you were kidding about the porn.
No. Pornhub is set to block Indiana and Kentucky.
Well, is Australia out of the...
It's out of it. It says Pornhub to block Indiana and Kentucky next month over age verification.
What do you mean, block?
Pornhub will block Indiana and Kentucky next month, the latest and growing list of blocked states. So eventually, probably all the states are going to be blocked. In recent... Just based on that English, I'm sorry, everybody. In recent years... I'm joking, by the way.
Think of how crazy this is, though. Like, no, go ahead.
I'm joking, by the way. I'm just going by their English. Because the way they wrote that was quite comical to me. In recent years, age verification laws have been popping up across the U.S. They typically require visitors to websites with over 1/3 of adult content to show proof of age. So you have to show your ID and proof that you exist here on the planet.
So much for Twitter.
Right. Moving along. So more and more states are enacting these age verification laws, and Pornhub and its parent company, it's called ALOS. You guys might know it as MindGeek. I don't know. Has a response, or has been responding to it to block these states from accessing the website at all because they are failing to meet these new verification laws.
Gotcha. I think there should be ID for social media. So
I think so
but
too.
This is my personal.
Just these places?
There's you need an ID to drive a fucking car. You need an ID to fish. You need an ID to have a business. You need an ID to be in the military. You need an ID to drive a boat. You need an ID... What do you mean? You need an ID to have a gun. You need an ID to operate certain machinery.
You need an ID for a cigarette.
That's what I'm saying. You need an ID if you're going to be a fucking cosmetologist. You want to do somebody's hair, you need a fucking ID. So the kids, they've already pointed out, everyone agrees that social media is addicting and harmful to mental health. So we agreed that it's already fucking cracked the kids and busted up our daughters, and everyone's insecure and afraid of each other as it is. Social media scared the shit out of everybody, unless you're an ex-con. So basically at this point, the internet's for criminals. Well, it was invented as a weapon, a weapon, and now that's what it is.
And criminals are going to be hold a weapon.
Right.
If you know anything about criminals and weapons, they will take arm to the weapon.
So I don't know, man. I have said for some time that I think there should be some sort of age verification system for places where adults are spending their free time hosting adult activities. See how I just said that? Anywhere on the internet where there is adults that are hosting adult activities, there shouldn't be kids there. Mm-hmm. Social media is one of those places.
And social media.
Let me tell you something. If you were sitting on your porch and the 8 and 14-year-old kids in your neighborhood were hanging out on your lawn for a barbecue and you were passing out Hustler magazine, the SWAT team would show up. Mm-hmm. If you were playing house like people play on the internet in Minecraft, if you were playing house, no bullshit. If you were playing house and facilitating little games and playing house and hooky on your lawn and you were an adult and you were hosting these type of activities for children like they do in video game world and on Minecraft, don't think I know how some of you adults don't like to spend your time on all those apps. Because video games in unsupervised areas on the internet where there are children is exactly what a lot of adults are doing online. And not just on sexual crazy stuff. No, a lot of people are recruiting for hate groups, for work, for to get free labor done, to take advantage of, you know what I mean? Young models, artists, musicians. The internet is a hustler's and a criminal's dreamland. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a big flea market. Why wouldn't you have an ID here? I don't want to do business with nobody. I don't know who they are. I just said, right. I don't even want to use Spotify and have 400 monthly listeners and I can't send them a message. You think I want to be on the internet and I don't know I'm talking to a young person? We live in a time now, you could be a purple giraffe. I don't have a problem with it, but there's no accountability. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could put up any type of profile picture and there's no way of me knowing what's behind the giraffe image. Mm-hmm. I don't know who I'm dealing with.
They should have an ID.
Like, right, like, yes.
It's like entrapment.
Yes,
yeah.
Be strict.
You don't know who you're dealing with at any time. Mm-hmm. You know, it's same thing with the date. We said this before with the dating sites.
Yeah.
How do you know that's how you like you're swiping and you're doing all that? And I'm not even talking about crime. I'm talking about how do you know that this is the same lady with the same brunette hair with the same, how do you know this is the same guy that works at, you don't. You know, let's face it. We're on the internet, it's 2024 and you could be in a message or in what you feel like is a private chat with somebody and you don't know that it's them. You could be talking to your wife in a private chat. You don't know that it's her. With all the AI and all the bots and everything that we have now, it's 2024 and you could be having a conversation online in a video game room and you don't know you're talking to a 14-year-old girl. It's that simple. And that's because the internet, as it is today, is still a place. Facebook is a place where adults can host adult conversations and adult activities and children can participate. Why do we have an internet where adults spend private time with children? At all.
Yeah, that
At
ain't right.
all. Why you shouldn't be able to share music with a 14-year-old girl.
Nope.
And the way you get rid of that is everyone has to be accountable. That's the way you get rid of it. You turn the lights on. You get rid of secrecy. You take away secrecy, you take away privacy, and then you ain't gonna have all the bullshit. Mm-hmm. What is the deal with Daniel Ek hiding the 400 monthly listeners? It's because it's a fucking secret. What the fuck do I want to do business with somebody like that for?
And why are people continuing to do business with
I will
like
never
that?
work for a boss that tells me I can't talk about my wages with my coworker. I will never work for a supervisor that punishes me to compare wages with my coworkers.
Or even punishes you for
I'm a
stuff that's
crazy
out of your
person.
control that you can't verify because
Right.
they set it up in
Right.
such a way where you can't
Right.
verify
Anybody
it,
can
even
say
if you
you're
wanted
streaming
to.
fraud. Anybody, they could just say so. Who did you fraud?
Where did it come from? I didn't put it there. Who put it there?
The 400.
We can barely use the site. How can we
Right.
do something fake if we can't even use the site?
Well, it doesn't matter. Somebody said so.
Right. Somebody said.
Who said? A bot?
Right. And right.
Well, somebody.
And how did the bot figure that out?
Right. Leave me alone. I never opted into that.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
That's why
That's
I
what, so
asked.
you could be in a group talking with a 14-year-old boy. Like, you didn't opt into that, but because the current laws aren't fast enough to catch up with the technology. You're talking a fucking big bird profile, or what you think is the Master Chief, or somebody you're having a conversation with in the comments. You're not really sure. There's no accountability.
I also find it interesting that, yes, as we should, of course, be very strict on age verification in porn sites.
Yes,
Why
that's
don't
right.
we have that same mentality
Hold on.
when it comes to social media,
Right.
or
She's
fucking
right.
or YouTube?
And here's another one.
Kids are on YouTube.
Why the fuck didn't we have it 10 years ago?
Right. Kids have YouTube channels.
Why
They shouldn't.
How did we get this far? How did we get this? How do we have a place with all the technology and all the bots and all the facial recognition? How do we have a place on Earth where children can access fucking porn?
And have a YouTube channel.
Well, that's because most people, the high up CEOs are just as big of pedophiles as.
That's
The average
it.
guy living
Thank
down
you.
the street.
Thank you for explaining that. Thank you for telling the fucking truth. I mean, let's get the bullshit here. The reason why children are allowed online with adults to spend private time is because there's certain adults that want to. That's what Zach's saying. If we as adults really wanted children to be offline, we'd have a worldwide internet light for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just have an internet for young people where they cannot access certain things because their brains are not developed, and it's scientifically proven that they can't handle or manage some of these emotional topics. Like not all kids can handle GTA, right? Like some can, some can't.
Right.
Like some kids watch The Exorcist and they fucking kill people. And then there's some people that watch The Exorcist and they get scared and they pee the bed until they're 14. And then there's other kids that watch The Exorcist and they laugh the whole time, and even that's fucking disturbing. But either way, your kids are disturbing.
Or some people watch The Exorcist and they pass out.
Right. Like Lexi. Lexi watched The Exorcist and fucking fell.
I passed out to Reagan's face, y'all.
She
Reagan's
fell on the ground.
face.
And here's the thing. Before we started watching, I said, now look, you Gen Z kids aren't built for this kind of shit.
Right, we think we like thrillers and
All
stuff.
right. I said, oh,
Wait till you
mama.
see Reagan's face.
I said, now hold on. I said, this isn't fucking CGI.
Right.
I said, this isn't fucking...
Horror movies hit different.
It's
back then.
different. I said the music's scary. I said this fucking shit is scary. I said you gotta put. I said I don't think you're ready for this. And
Lo and behold.
we turned off the lights. The soundtrack came on. This kid started changing colors.
Literally, it was Reagan's
I said, "Are you
face,
all right?"
yo.
We turned the light. I said, "You all right?" She said, "No, I'm fine." I said, "You don't look fine."
Reagan's face.
We kept going. We kept going about 20 minutes into the movie. And fucking, they had Reagan laid out on the table.
Getting ready for the first
Getting
surgery.
ready. She didn't even get crazy yet.
Nope. The
She did-
first surgery.
Dude, Lexi hit the floor. I said, nope, turn it off. We're done. I said, I didn't want to do it. We're not doing it. It was one of the Halloween things. No.
They do not make movies the same way anymore.
No.
Especially
No.
horror movies.
No, the feeling,
The makeup.
because things fucking sucked then in reality.
They made
could-
it so real.
Because
Like
they're-
it was so
because now
disturbing.
we've all mastered acting and we all think we're super duper actors and actresses, but we're all watered down because the internet. But like, no, people were coming out of tougher times, man. You know, and I'm telling you, dude, like we couldn't we couldn't just turn on a fancy device and skip our priorities and our demons. People could call upon the demon back then because all you had to do back then is go to church and stuff like that. You had time. People don't got the time to pray. Praying is fucking terrifying.
a lot can happen.
Think of the stuff that was happening to kids in churches at that time when they made The Exorcist, okay?
Oh my God.
Think of how demonic and real that is.
Oh my God.
Now, see what I'm saying?
And now you understand why someone
That's
would
why it's
pass
so
out.
dark. That's why it's so gritty. Because of the reality of the true darkness in the church.
And the true
fucking
darkness
scary.
in the world.
And the true darkness in the world, man. And now we don't have all the bullshit moment to moment to fake it.
It's real. It's real at that time.
I'm sorry that you fell, but Melissa was there to catch you.
Yes.
I got your back.
Thank you.
That shit was crazy. You had to be there.
We technically brought them there because we told them the story.
Aaron says he still has a Ouija board from when he was a kid.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Why?
Do you
Oh.
what?
I don't know if
That's
I
not
would ever
good.
fuck with one of those things.
That's the only time.
Ouija boards are up there with crack cocaine. It's just, if you can
Why would
skip
do
it, right, if you can skip it.
The only time I would mess with a Ouija board is if there was a professional that was in the realm of ghosts or whatever.
That seems even worse.
yeah.
Like, why would I want a professional to conjure up some shit that wasn't in my
I was
life
gonna
before?
say,
Yeah, that's true.
Something that wasn't
You're playing
in
with
your
fire
life
there.
before. Something that didn't terrify you. You're asking it to come and terrify you. Something
That's
tells me,
terrifying.
ladies and gentlemen, that if you say to the world, go on any neighborhood in America and say, punch me in the face, punch me in the face, punch me in the face. Someone's going to punch you in the face. And go outside and say, somebody jump my bones. Somebody jump my bones. I mean, someone's going to come on. Seriously, someone's going to come and jump your bones. If you're sitting there and you have a mindset, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit. Eventually, you're going to feel bad.
You're gonna feel like a piece
Okay?
of shit.
This is the same thing. I don't give a fuck if you have a Ouija board or tarot cards or whatever you got going on. But if you're saying, come and get into my body and make me crazy. Come and get into my body and make me crazy. Like, we live in a world where you can eat a mushroom or a piece of paper or you can have a dream and go crazy.
Oh my God.
Like, you know what I'm saying? When you go to sleep, you go into other worlds. Do you really want to ask
No.
and play a game with some shit like that?
No.
You can go into another world by taking a hit of acid, which I don't recommend. But think about how easy that is. That there's a chemical that can change the receptors in your brain so you view the world and your reality and life entirely different. And you want to try to test that?
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, no.
Come into my body and make me different. Like, okay, I mean, you don't know who you're talking to at that time, do you?
Mhm. It could be anybody.
Right.
And it goes into what you were saying earlier about you don't know who you're talking
know what
to
you're
on
doing.
the other line.
You don't know
You
what you're
don't
doing.
know if that ghost really is your grandpa.
Right.
That ghost could be a demonic demon from 1942
Right.
about to kill you.
Or how about this? I give you another scientific, plausible reality. People have dementia and Alzheimer's, and people dream, okay? People bump their head, and people have amnesia and do sleepwalking. I don't think it's ghosts and goblins. I think people are stupid and crazy. And I think, I know, and I think people are that stupid and that crazy where they can scientifically manipulate the receptors in their brain to think they're in love with somebody, to think someone's after them, to think that, no, seriously, this is why people shoot up schools, and this is why people do shit, because they really think they're next to God. They really think that they're going to have 20 versions when they set off all the bombs. They really believe that people believe people walked on water. There's people that believe that. Now, I'm not making fun of them people. What I'm telling you is people believe it. Now, if you ask me, I'd say you're fucking crazy.
I'm going to go talk to somebody.
But people believe they were abducted by aliens. People believe, and to all of you out there that have been abducted by aliens, all civility and sympathy to you. What I'm saying is I don't know if that is the scientific truth of what is happening. And I'm saying I don't know. I know when we don't know stuff as humanity, as a species, we always label it. We try to get down to the finest bit. We get out a microscope. We get out a telescope. We look as far and wide as we can, and we cut it down and chop it up into little bits. And we call each and every little bit a proton, an electron. That we're obsessed with a ghost, a goblin, a ghoul, a geeky. It just seems like everything's everything. Everything we have in our imaginations, everything's cataloged and organized, and every god creature we've ever had, every demigod, every Zeus, every Poseidon, every Jesus, every Allah, every word, everything is carefully itemized and obsessed about. And to me, that seems awfully human. It doesn't seem demonic. It doesn't seem spiritual. It doesn't seem like angels. It sounds like stupid, crazy fucking people. People obsessing about shit that's happening in their lives, like their fucked up brains. You can see shit from getting too hot.
I mean, at one point in history, think about it. If a woman solved a math problem correctly, they had to drown her to prove she was a witch.
Okay, to me, that shows that
How
people
stupid.
are at a sensitive, insane level.
Mm-hmm.
That we are every time we say civilized, we are saying insane.
Right.
Every time you say insane, you are saying civilized.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have in without the out. You can't have an up without the down, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have soft without the hard. You can't have dry without wet. You can't have the front without the back.
Right.
Check it out. You know?
But what we can have
What can we have, Lex?
is royalty-free music solutions
What?
for DSPs and online platforms.
Ooh.
See? That's because and then here we go. That's because they don't need people anymore. They don't need people that want to get paid from music anymore. That's why royalty-free music is huge. Because they don't need mouthy musicians that want to make a living.
They want composers.
Everyone loves musicians that are willing to work for free. It's only mouthy musicians like me that everybody wants to be quiet.
People are getting into music composition.
I bet you people would love free porn.
Of course they do.
But so you can't justify free porn. Not even the federal government can justify free porn.
But we can justify free music? That doesn't make any
We can't.
sense.
The federal government will not justify free movies. That's why you pay for Netflix. Even independent films, you pay for. Notice
Why
that
is
if
music
you're
free?
an independent filmmaker, you get paid for your independent films.
Then why is music free?
Because consumers have been trained.
But wouldn't consumers be trained to think other things about those other areas of entertainment? Thinking that they should watch a movie for free?
I'm sure if they could have free porn, they would, Lex.
Yeah.
If people could have free food, they would.
People want anything for free. Free me.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That the idea of Spotify. You got to remember, there's only two left. There's YouTube and there's Spotify that offer free tiers. People are crazy because they haven't realized it. After all these years, remember all the free music, all the free media? Where'd it go? You see? Not even the industry believes that music should be free. See? I told you. I told you years ago that music shouldn't be free. And now you see even the industry is agreeing with me. Now see, I said music shouldn't be free 8 years ago. And everyone argued with me. But now you don't see any more free tiers of music. And you're starting to see Spotify and YouTube are giving up their free tiers of music. So it's funny that the guy that was talking about free music is for suckers 8 years ago when I was saying it, it's funny. Even the biggest corporate media sites of the world that advertised free music to all of you have now taken it away and then replaced it with new subscription tiers and ad tiers. Now the basic tiers at Spotify are still ad tiers. Even the basic tiers. So what used to be free music, now people pay for their ad music. I told them not to do it. I begged y'all not to do it, but you did it anyway. And now look, even the largest streaming sites in the world all agree with William Savant now that music shouldn't be free. Told you. I hate being that dude, but I said it though. so many times. And that, you know what I mean? And that's how they got us, man. I told you, this is a trick. There's no way. I said nothing in life is for free. They're data hacking. What they want to learn, the reason why music is free is because they wanted to learn how people that subscribe to free music behave. The reason why they wanted to have independent musicians on the platform is because independent music is a $17 billion business, and they need to figure out how to A, hide it, and B, siphon it. I'm done. I don't think I've ever said it clearer than that today. It's that clear. Go check on it yourself. It's not even my idea. I wish I would have came up with it. It's just that clear. There's a never-ending amount of solid, relative, updated today. There is solid evidence to back up everything I've said. It's just a matter of sitting down for hours and going over the material that agrees with me.
And not just scratching the surface over the material that agrees with you. Actually going and reading not just one article about
That's the problem with the music industry. That's the problem with politics, Lexi. That's the problem with the Bible, is everybody wants to read the first couple words that they like. If I said that to every aspiring musician, they all open up the music industry playbook. They read the first few fun lines, music, your band is a business, right? They say stuff like that, and they tell you don't get high off your own supply, and they tell you all the generic cliche shit that you hear, when you start any small business. Yeah. The good news is we're not the only ones anymore talking about it. I mean, a year or two ago, everyone was so terrified. I mean, Spotify was such a monster. No one could ever see anything ever changing for music except for streaming. I think, 2 or 3, 4 years ago, no one ever saw the end of streaming ever. And that's why people would never dare to say anything about Daniel.
I have a question.
What?
When Spotify first came out, and there were artists that were before Spotify coming out.
Yes.
Was there any artist that saw Spotify coming out, saw that they're doing this whole free streaming thing, and was like, I'm never putting my music there, and they never put their music there? You can only find it on their website.
There are several, yes, and I can give you a detailed list of artists who have opted out
Just
of streaming.
never did, ever, not even when it came out.
Yeah. Most people that have done it successfully, I'm giving out the keys this year. So, I'm a firm believer in, if it's fuck me, then fuck you. Spotify says with their model that they don't agree that independent musicians should be paid fairly. And in translation, meaning they don't give us enough money for our music. So people who've been successful at doing this have really had a hybrid approach, which is if Spotify isn't going to give you enough money, then if you continue to stay on Spotify for 2025, then don't give them enough music. That's all there is to it. If Spotify refuses to pay musicians, then musicians should only upload half the song.
And with that,
That's how you deal with it.
Right?
And if people want to hear more, they leave Spotify to a respectful, high quality, high fidelity music playing site that hosts your music.
Or just don't post there at all and just keep it on your website. Why go through the hassle of going through a free streaming site, putting up your music, when you can just do it right on your website?
That's what I meant. I'm just, that is an obvious choice, but simple times for simple minds, Lex. These guys haven't understood that the money that they pay their distributors to upload their music to Spotify, they could have a website. They haven't figured it out. They haven't got that far. A lot of people haven't got that far. Most bands don't even have websites.
But we do.
Oh, I know.
But that's why That's why people love social media. That's why they opted into Spotify. That's why they opted into Reverb Nation. That's why they opted into all that stuff, because after the .com era, during a time when everybody needed to be a fucking coder to have a website, you either hire someone or you had to be a master coder to have a website. Everybody fluctuated. Everybody started to turn towards social media and Reverb Nation, and that's how they got us, man. By lazy musicians running into learning curves, or you know what I'm saying, the technology moving quickly, and us being like, here, take my music, make me famous. You guys are laughing because see how they're laughing? Because they're musicians. They're laughing at this because they know. Look at Zachy B and look at Melissa laughing at us talking about this because they know they're laughing. Look at her face. That's how real it is.
Oh, I know.
Yep.
They both couldn't hold it in because
Right.
we've been musicians for decades, and it's unfortunate but we're gonna melt to death. We should probably stop filming.
Okay. Thank
I'm
you
sorry.
guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Honeycomb Hideout. Like we've said, we've missed you. As you can tell, we just can't stop talking.
Right, we're gonna burn the guests though. We got to go.
We do. We'll see you guys next week, next Wednesday on the Hump Day.
Wednesday, let us know.
7 p.m. Eastern.